Ethan Happ poured in a career-high 34 points the last time he touched the floor over the weekend against in-state rival Marquette. He and the Badgers look to get back into the win column here tonight. Back with you at the Kohl Center. It's the Wisconsin Badgers, ranked 16th in the country, as they host their MEAC opponent tonight, the Savannah State Tigers, along with Ben Brust. Jeff Levering with you from Madison. And for you, Ben, tonight, it's going to be on the shoulders of Brad Davison to turn it around.
Jeff, you know what you're going to get from Ethan Happ. He's basically a double-double every game. Dimitri Trice really solidified his role. But Brad Davison's a guy who's got to step up. They need a third scorer who can consistently give points to this team. 0 for 3 from 3 against Marquette. 0 for 3 from the free throw line as well. This game's going to provide some opportunities to hit open shots with the way that Savannah State plays defense. Maybe a little bit of a confidence builder today for some of these guys.
Trying to find that intensity that you saw moments ago as well from Brad Davison. You see one name absent from Wisconsin's lineup. Khalil Iverson is out. Kobe King making his first career start.
Khalil Iverson would have been the most athletic guy on the floor. Kobe King is going to try and fill that void today.
See the lower leg injury he sustained in practice just a couple of days ago, as Ethan Happ controls the tip, and we're off and running from the Kohl Center. Dimitri Trice, the sophomore, 10 points against Marquette in their overtime loss on Saturday, just their second loss of the season. 8-2 in the first 10 games. As they go down low to Nate Reavers early, and he tries the end line, and it goes out of bounds. And Savannah State, not necessarily known for their defense, they force a turnover.
It's always interesting when Wisconsin feeds the post early in the game what kind of defense you're going to see. No double team there, but it wasn't Ethan Happ yet.
Savannah State likes to shoot the three. 500 threes in their 800 total shots. And there's their first one of the day, and it's an air ball from the junior Jaquan Dotson.
That will not discourage anybody at all. They're going to keep firing whether they miss 10 times in a row. It will continue to go up.
Horace Broadnax is their head coach. Won a national title with Georgetown back in 1984. Was a runner-up in 85. Talk about a defensive stalwart as Ethan Happ underneath gets fouled, and he's going to go to the line. Adam Saeed picks up the personal. Contrasting styles from what Broadnax ran underneath John Thompson to what he's running right now.
Yeah, this is going to be a fast-paced game. There's no guy on Savannah State that's above 6'7" on the floor right now. Wisconsin's going to try and pound in early, whether it's Happ or Reavers. Oh, all right.
Banked it in for Ethan Happ. It works all the same.
It's going to raise the percentage right there.
Greg Gard just happy to see one go through the net, as he is in his 4th season as a head man in Madison. As Happ makes 2 out of 2. Confidence booster for Happ, and he needs some of that from the free throw line. Happ trying to alter the shot, and a bucket for Adam Saeed. A lot of pressure from Savannah State. Not a bad thing to see in this non-conference schedule. You're not going to see it a ton in Big Ten play, but good to see just in case you run into it.
Savannah State is the fastest team in the country. Ethan Happ's being guarded at half court. You don't see that often, but you want to be challenged early in the season because you never know later on who you're going to play that's going to play at this pace.
You do know that Wisconsin is going to run their offense. Dimitri Trice from 3 buries his first one. Trice was quiet against Marquette. Golden Eagles did a nice job making him go to his left. Another air ball from Savannah State, and the loose ball goes back to the Tigers.
Something that they're going to have to work at here. Marquette, 14 offensive rebounds the last time they were out.
Looking at the shot clock, there was an air ball, and it looked like the shot clock had reset. It says 14 seconds on the shot clock, and our officials are going to get together with the table and make sure we've got everything where it needs to be. And Aleem Ford's going to check in as well. And the boards were a big issue for Marquette against Wisconsin, of course. It's a very physical team. Ed Morrow had a big day, former Nebraska Cornhusker transfer. But you know what Wisconsin's going to want to do. They want to run their stuff. They want to rebound. They want to play good defense. This is a good test for them.
Yeah, and having young guys in early. Kobe King's a guy who can crash the offensive glass for Wisconsin. On the contrary, you just want to see guys do different things early that can help bring something later in conference play.
Underneath, and a good look and a good feed from the junior Tyrell Harper. And Savannah State within a point. Charlie Thomas about ready to check in for Wisconsin. Ethan Happ feeds Aleem Ford, got fronted nicely. There comes the double. Savannah State played just a couple of days ago, South Dakota State, and it was ugly early. Aleem Ford now, open look from the left wing, in and out. And the rebound goes out to Ethan Happ.
Nice job by Kobe King getting in there, getting a hand on that, keeping that ball alive, leading to an open three.
Trice pass one up, gives it to Kobe King, and he's rewarded.
And that's the unselfishness of Demetric Trice. Had an open three, getting other guys involved early.
There's a quick three and another air ball by Savannah State. Again, this is a team that averages 45 three-point attempts in a game. This is your style of offense, Ben.
Don't blink. I feel like we're watching that game of Nintendo Pong. It's just going to be back and forth. But it's going to be interesting watching Demetric Trice versus Zach Sellers, who can control the pace, because Wisconsin, obviously, it's hard to come into this place and really keep it fast-paced. But I might see, for the first time, Savannah State keep it for 40 minutes at where they want.
Moments ago, Aleem Ford checked out, and Greg Gard is still talking with Aleem Ford, talking about where he should be on the defensive end of things as Kobe King tries to post up underneath. Feeds Charlie Thomas, and he was fouled on his way up. They'll pick up Romani Hansen with a personal on Charlie Thomas.
A little bit of a bailout, luckily, by Charlie. If he's so big that if he just gathers and throws a pump fake, they're just going to foul him just because they can't do anything. So good patience by Kobe King right there as a freshman, getting the ball in the post and finding the open cutter.
Thomas at the line to shoot a couple of free throws. Makes the first, and we mentioned Greg Gard. He is still posted up next to Aleem Ford. This is just a couple of moments ago.
Yeah, he's fired up, and Aleem Ford was somebody who subbed into this game and subbed out already. So this must be a moment of something that they maybe talked about in practice that he didn't execute, that you want to get taken care of early on.
And Gard is still right in front of Aleem Ford on the far side of the court. Harper with a layup, nope, and the rebound to Charlie Thomas. And Wisconsin looking to run. 3-on-3, Trice pulls it back.
Good job by Demetric, nothing there, run the offense.
There's the little floater in the right hand, good for Demetric Trice.
Got to turn around and be ready. Here they come.
Savannah State team, they will run, that's for sure. Tyrell Harper buries a three.
So you're going to see that a lot from Savannah State. The point guard, Zach Sellers, is going to drive, and the trail man, it's almost like a screen and pitch and throwback. So watch out. That's the first one that they did. They're 1 for 1 on that so far.
Savannah State on their warm-up T-shirts as Ethan Happ going to work underneath. His right hand is good. He'll go to the line and try and complete a three-point play. Their warm-up T-shirts, Savannah State, say good things come in threes.
That's
so
fantastic.
You know they're going to take a ton.
Well, they come in threes, but 28% right now. 60% of their shots are threes. Look, I mean, I would have kept Savannah State in my top 5 as a recruit. I mean, it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting to see a style that is just so unique. Not only do they play fast, they play fast the whole time. And how about Ethan Happ? 3 for 3 from the line early.
Ethan Happ already with 5 in this game. There's Harper again, launching away. And a brick on that one. 7-point lead for Wisconsin. Mentioned the last game for Savannah State. Nice ball fake by Happ into the corner. Davison. He needed that one to go down for him early.
That's a good sign for Wisconsin. He's really struggled since going 4 of 6 at Xavier. Seeing that first one go through could change the whole complexity for him. And
a turnover. Davison in the right place, the right time. Picking the pocket of Savannah State. Savannah State trailed 90-33 in their last game against South Dakota State at the half.
That was a good duck in by Ethan. I know he's being unselfish early on, but if you're that deep, you got to finish.
Harper trying to use his speed to get past Thomas. There's a deep three. No chance for John Grant, one of the 3 seniors on this roster.
All 5 guys on the floor for Savannah State are going to look to shoot. It'll be interesting to see how Wisconsin transitions.
Foul on the transition by Adam Saeed. But a good start from your man, Brad Davison, in this one.
Yeah, Brad, again, needs to get confidence early. Good assists from Ethan Happ. A lot of Ethan Happ assists are coming to the 3-point line.
Here at home against Savannah State. And we welcome you courtside, everybody, along with Ben Bruss, Jeff Levering with you. And Ben, this is a really intriguing game because Wisconsin can kind of be baited into trying to play a game that Savannah State wants you to play, but so fundamentally sound of these Badgers.
Yeah, Demetric Trice has done a good job of when they get the rebound on transition, picking the moments when they should go. They haven't been baited into taking bad shots, getting some subs in early. You'll see how the pace continues to move.
5 for their first 7 from the floor of the Badgers. 3 for 9 for Savannah State. And 6 of those 9 shots for the Tigers coming from beyond the arc. That is nothing odd. Charlie Thomas with an offensive foul as he put his shoulder right into the chest of the defender.
Yeah, you got to be smarter. They're smaller, so it's a little bit tougher when you're that big, but don't extend that arm. He's going to get his body into him. Just go, yeah, the arm got up there. Just go up and finish over the top when you're that much bigger.
Thomas checks out. Ethan Happ is back in. Very quick break for Ethan. He does not like to take time off. He wants to be out there on the floor helping out these Badgers. See him trying to cover out on the perimeter as well. Tough matchup. Tyrell Harper knocks down his second triple of the ballgame. He has 6 points.
I was starting to think that was a long possession and only got to 15, so they're looking to go as soon as possible. Ethan Happ now with 2 threes on him. He's going to have to extend. He's used to guarding guys in the post, but that's why this type of game is good for Wisconsin.
That's a big test for Ethan. He's going to work down low now. The right hand. Ethan Happ already with 7 points.
And then again, turn around. This is who's going to get in the paint, who's going to stop the ball. There's that trail. And Ethan getting a little workout right now.
Tyrell Harper went to work that time in the pace, and Harper trying to go toe-to-toe with Happ. He has 8 to lead all scorers. That's about his average as well, 8 points a game for Tyrell. Nate Reavers, top of the key 3. Nate Reavers gets into the act.
Really nice to see Nate Reavers not hesitate. Against Marquette, he was able to get 7 threes up, only going 2 for 7, but shooting 40%. So if he can knock down that shot, it creates so much space for this Badger offense so they can't just stay in the lane on Ethan Happ.
Reavers forced a tough shot, and Happ pours down the rebound. It was Saeed on the miss. Reavers had a hand in his face. A foul on Happ on the rebound. Davison checking in, as well as a trio of Savannah State Tigers. Saeed just picked up his 3rd personal foul, by the way. See Chris Dubose, the sophomore, check in.
A little bit of early action here for Ty Strickland with Trevor Anderson going out with that injury. Ty Strickland, a freshman, and a lot of times Wisconsin doesn't give freshmen that opportunity, and he's young. This will be interesting to see how he handles how fast Savannah is going to try to speed him up.
He is running the point with Davison on the floor with him. Happ, Brevin Pritzel on the floor for the first time, and Nate Reavers in there too. Ty Strickland ran into a bunch of Tigers there. Still plenty of time to shoot.
Keep your eye on Brevin Pritzel here.
There's Strickland from 3, and Ty Strickland knocks down the 3, his first 3-pointer of his career.
Confident too, just stepped right in. Again, that trail play. Rebound here, and then again, what are you going to do after they shoot a shot after 2 seconds into the shot clock? They go into zone, work it around, try and find those seams, hit the middle of that zone.
Ty Strickland, you mentioned the injury to Trevor Anderson, sustained that against Iowa in their Big Ten opener in Iowa City. Happ draws the double. Strickland again. Ty Strickland banked it in.
That's twice now. Ethan Happ earlier with the free throw. A little bit of a home roll. 28 points so far was from Wisconsin. 7 minutes into this game, pacing at quite the clip here.
16-point lead. And folks, now let's take a look at this message from ZipRecruiter. It's the smartest way to hire and the official hiring partner of the Big Ten Conference.
Hiring delays were causing work to pile up. That's not smart. But you know what is smart? Using ZipRecruiter. They find people with the right skills, education, and experience for my job and actively invite them to apply. So I got qualified candidates fast. No wonder ZipRecruiter is rated #1 by employers in the U.S.
ZipRecruiter, official hiring partner of the Big Ten Conference. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/Big10.
16-point lead right now for Wisconsin, and Ben, Ty Strickland right off the bench and firing away.
Well, it's a product. That's 10 seconds left on the shot clock. They worked it around, passing up those good shots for the great shot, and it's just a little bit of help from the glass above.
Did you hear him call it?
I did not.
hear it.
I don't think he cares if he called it or not. If it goes down, it goes down.
It counts. You see Brad Davison on the floor, and a held ball is going to stay with Savannah State as Aleem Ford is going to check back into the ball game after getting an earful from Greg Gard earlier in the game. Ty Strickland, the son of Rod Strickland from St. Petersburg, Florida, just outside of Tampa Bay. Limited minutes, had only made one shot in his collegiate career. It's against Houston Baptist.
Coaches have been talking about how he brings something different in practice. He brings it every day on that scout team, and that earns you opportunity to get out there this early in the game.
Davison didn't fall for the ball fake. Now on the switch against Jaquan Dotson. Strickland doing a nice job moving his feet. There's a deep three off the front of the iron, and a rebound by Brevin Pritzel. Savannah State kept it close there for a little while. Aleem Ford underneath. And couldn't finish. Who's there to clean it up?
Again, Ethan Happ got the ball at the backcourt, dribbled it all the way up, found Aleem Ford, but didn't just stop. He crashed the glass, got an easy putback.
Strickland. There's another three. That one's short. Romani Hansen. Again, I feel like we should put that on a voice track. Brad Davison from the corner. Davison's 2 for 2.
It's so interesting watching Ethan Happ go from the backcourt, finds the guy down low, and that's the kind of shot you want Brad taking inside out. And I got to stop talking because as soon as I talk, the shot's up and I can't even talk.
There's another one. Zach Sellers, a junior, had a season-high 22 against Kent State about a month ago. The thing about Savannah State is they shoot so many threes, at some point they're going to start falling, and you don't want to be the team that's going to face that. Whistle that time, Savannah State, and everybody will go to their sidelines for a moment. Wisconsin with a 33-15 lead here at home. Men's basketball on BTN is brought to you by State Farm, here to help life go right. Talk to a State Farm agent today. Ben, you know a little something about running the hill here in Madison.
A great opportunity for the guys to get out in the campus, and you know there's students walking around engaging with them, and you see a cone there. The last one that they do, they put a picture of each mascot that they're going to play throughout the year, and it just builds that unity. You know, sometimes those corny things are those good things that bring the teams together.
Now that was not footage from yesterday.
No.
A little chilly here in Wisconsin. It was actually warmer today. It was 40 degrees today. But that was in the summertime when it was nice and a great time to be outside and running the hill. 6 to shoot. Brevin Pritzel, his first shot of the day off the heel of the rim. Surprise, surprise. Savannah State wants to go. Badgers have done such a nice job of being efficient with their shooting so far. That was just their 4th miss of this entire game. They're 11 for their first 15. They go inside, and a nice feed inside to Romani Hansen.
First time for the Badgers that shot clock got under 10. If you're going to work that hard on defense, you can't give up a layup like that. You know, Aleem just got caught a little bit on the help side.
There's Aleem Ford in the corner. On the zone from Savannah State, out of bounds off of the Tigers. It's going to stay with Wisconsin. Kobe King about ready to check in for the Badgers as well. Greg Gard, this is nice to get back on the floor after a tough loss against Marquette over the weekend. It's their 2nd loss of the season.
And they didn't shoot particularly well. 10 for 21 from the free throw line, already making some shots early. And Dimitrik, despite the fact that he was 1 for 6 against Marquette, he's just picking up where he left off. We'll just call that a blimp in the radar.
3 for 3 so far for Dimitrik Trice. He's got 8 points. Number 1 in the Big Ten Conference in three-point field goal percentage. Came in at 55% coming into the day today. Tyrell Harper, the blocking foul on Brad Davison. Very rare to see that. A chance for a 3-point play for Tyrell.
Especially at the Kohl Center. And, you know, and for Brad, you got to pick and choose those moments. He was just a little bit late, stepped up. And Dimitrik, it's really been interesting to see his progression. 9 points per game before he got hurt. But getting hurt helped him develop his body. The quickness, everything you see from him is what you'd see out of a junior. So it was almost a blessing in disguise to be able to develop like that for him.
And he didn't lose a year in the process as well, eligibility-wise. Still just a sophomore eligible. He's still got this season and 2 more potentially to be here in Madison. Trice just continues to get better, and there's nobody who's going to work harder for you, that's for sure. Trice with King and Davison with Ford and Charlie Thomas on the floor. Davison launches from 3 short, his first miss of the night. Charlie Thomas on the tap in and couldn't get the roll. Aleem Ford trying to keep it alive into the hands of Davison and a fresh shot clock. Davison finding the open man, King. Kobe got his man in the air and a chance for a 3-point play.
That's a veteran play by Kobe King. You got to give Brad credit for the hustle, using that athleticism, finding a guy across the court. But Kobe King comes to a jump stop here. You'll see Brad, 2 guys on him bigger than him. That's that quarterback in him, I guess. Comes to a jump stop, pump fake, goes into the contact, doesn't avoid it, does a great job of finishing. That's something you need to see, what Khalil Iverson would normally give you, seeing from Kobe King so far today.
And youth, too. Davison, just a sophomore. King, a redshirt freshman after being injured in the early part of last year's non-conference schedule in December. So, like Demetric Trice, didn't lose a year of eligibility, but able to rehab and get himself back, and still just a redshirt freshman.
You talk about the youth as well. Charlie Thomas and Ethan Happ are those seniors along with Khalil Iverson. But Ty Strickland, Nate Reavers, those are guys that you've seen produce so far early on in the game. So getting those contributions, building that confidence is exactly what this game could be for.
Kobe King making his first career start instead of Khalil Iverson. Tough shot by Hansen, a rebound by Aleem Ford. He missed it at the outset. Iverson out for tonight's game. A left leg injury sustained in practice a few days ago. Coaching staff seems pretty confident that he'll be back for the Grambling State game after finals. But just missing tonight, give him a little extended break before conference play.
And I guess for our sake, you know, it would have been interesting to see him against this defense, a team that gives up 100 points, a lot of tip opportunities. Maybe Khalil could have been flying in there. You never know.
Iverson, one of the best dunkers in the entire country. Charlie Thomas with a backside block. Savannah State gets back on defense. Davison passed up the open look, and they'll reset with the Badgers. 19-point lead now for Wisconsin. Still very efficient with their shooting, 65% so far.
And Savannah State giving up 50% from the floor all season, so on par for them. And they only shoot 28% from 3, so it's an interesting dynamic. And what a nice take by Brad Davison. Again, you can see his confidence grow from him hitting the first shot, how he's attacked this game, getting on the floor, trying to take a charge, and just doing things that help motivate this team in a game that, you know, it's not always easy to show up for these type games. Not as many people in the crowd. You're thinking about finals and school going on. Just a lot going through these young kids' mind.
I give Marquette a little bit of credit for the defensive effort they put on Davison. The opportunities weren't there for him. That's a deep 3 by DuBose. And Chris DuBose, the sophomore from Stockbridge, Georgia, knocks trying to triple, but Davison just looks like he's got a different look in his eye. Yeah, from the outset.
It's tough when you play last year primarily at the point guard and then move to the 2 guard with Demetric having the ball late in the shot clock, and Ethan Happ really dominates that ball, and you're trying to cut. You don't want to get in the way, and there's the confidence again. It's just stepping in. He's not thinking. As soon as you start thinking and wishing the ball's going to go and maybe leaning, you just see a difference in his demeanor.
Davison's got 11 points. There's another 3, and it's off the back of the iron, and Davison's there to pull it in. 21-point lead for the Badgers, and a foul just over the half-court line. And Brad Davison, you mentioned it right at the outset. He was going to come alive. He's done just that, Ben.
Motivated kid, 0 for 3 from the floor, getting a nice bucket, finding a seam, and then 3 threes early on so far. After a nice ball fact, you leave him that open, he's going to knock it down.
DiGiorno crispy pan pizza.
Brad Davison taking full advantage of his opportunities today and affecting the game in multiple ways, Ben.
Yeah, moving over from the help side defense, finding Kobe King across the court with 2 guys on him. You can affect the game in so many ways, even when you're not scoring. 28% from 3 on the year, currently 3 for 4 from 3. And again, affecting the game in different ways. He has 4 assists and 0 turnovers on a team that plays so fast, finding confidence. You knew it was going to happen. Last year, 11 points per game, shooting better percentages than this year. It was eventually going to click. He's been in the national spotlight as well, from the 5 charges he took against NC State to last weekend against Marquette. It's a lot for a 19-year-old, and sometimes a nice little break after finals could do you good.
Yeah, you mentioned the role change as well. He was the point guard, in essence, for Wisconsin last year with not a lot of depth behind him. Now he's kind of the number 2 guard. He doesn't have to worry about the ball handling and just not getting a ton of touches.
Yeah, 2 of the guys on the floor were hurt last year, and it made him do some different things. You know, even with, which I didn't even know this was a stat, 8 shoulder dislocations, which I guess is going in the box score now. A nice job by Ethan finding Nate Reavers while he seals and then turning around. But yes, anytime Brad can find his way offensively, it's going to do good in a 20-game Big Ten season.
A fun matchup to watch with Happ guarding Tyrell Harper, who's got a little speed advantage over Happ, kind of extending his defense out to the perimeter as well. And if Happ's going to play at the next level, he's going to have to do some stuff like that on occasion.
Well, I mean, Ethan Happ is, you know, one of the top steals leaders in Wisconsin, top in blocks as well. He does a lot of good things defensively, so it's just a little bit different. You're used to going against bigger 6'10 guys. A 6'7 guy is good. You know, Ethan might be out there as the 5, he might be out there as the 4, learning as they go.
Working around this zone, trying to find a good shot. Wisconsin feed it into Happ. That's a clinic.
Anytime you hit the middle of the zone, you look down low. If they close the down low, you look to kick on the wing, find an open 3. 50 points right now for Wisconsin. Haven't hit the century mark since 2013, so might be on pace to do so.
Tonight might be the night. Savannah State averaging and giving up 100 points a game. They gave up 90 in the first half, as we talked about against South Dakota State last time out. Feed underneath. Kobe King missed the layup, got his own rebound, though. Trying to reset, looking for some help. Out of bounds, and it will stay with Wisconsin. A couple of subs coming in. Savannah State only has 8 players that are available in this game, so Horace Broadnax is going to be shuffling through those reserves rather quickly.
Wisconsin doing a nice job early on of, again, working their offense. 13 assists on 17 field goals. Not settling, not just, maybe Kobe King missed that one because there wasn't much of a pass, but that's stuff you want to see from him. Good aggression.
Happ trying to get around the double. Good feed by Strickland underneath. King didn't miss that time.
Yeah, it's gathering, using patience. He knows that he's not the tallest guy on the floor in that situation. Uses patience, finds that open seam, and I keep talking and they keep shooting.
Happ pulls down another rebound. And for Happ, that's his 9th already. Averages a double-double. He's got 9 points, 9 boards. He might have a double-double in the first half.
Working on those assists, too. Three already, or up to 5, and could be 6 here.
Highest scoring half for Wisconsin this season. They had 50 against Houston Baptist earlier this year. Davison knocks down the step-back 3.
Normally you'd say, you know, why is he doing that? Brad noticed the shot clock is at 5. If he passes, there's nothing going on for the offense. That's confidence. It's a dangerous, dangerous thing. Sizes the defense up, step back, and just in his face.
We opened up our show today, Ben, talking about Brad Davison and how this would be a nice bounce-back game for him after having a goose egg against Marquette. And he has given you everything you've wanted.
Yeah, and we see all the stats here. I just love how, even if he wasn't having these stats, 5 for 6 from the field, 4 for 5 from 3, he would still be diving on the floor. He'd still be rotating over on defense. And that kind of thing is the leadership that helps set the tone for this team. On a weird type game. This is so different than anything they're going to see in the Big Ten. And I hear him right now talking to everyone else on the floor right now.
Nearly forcing a turnover for Savannah State. Reavers. And there's the 3 by Dubose, and it rimmed in and out. And there will be a foul, I believe, on Reavers.
Even though that 3 didn't go down, Ethan Happ turned his body all the way to the post. Basketball gods were nice to him, because if that 3 goes down and he's anyone other than Ethan Happ is going to come out on a play like that.
There's a deep 3 by Romani Hansen, and Ty Strickland put together a nice little ball game so far. Strickland just under 5 minutes played. He's already made a couple of buckets, a couple of assists, couple boards.
He got some time at Iowa and for 1 minute and turned into a turnover.
He just banked in his second three. He's made all three of his threes. He's got 2 banks.
I hope he tells everyone he was trying at this point. If you have 2 in a game, you have to tell people you were aiming for the glass. Unless you're Ethan Happ.
Here's a 3 by Zach Sellers. Quiets the crowd just slightly after Strickland with a career-high 9.
And getting back to Ty, he got into the Iowa game and turned it over within the 1 minute because they play a little bit of a faster pace. So this is so good for him. Using a nice hesitation dribble. Yeah, that's a senior-led move, but that is going to be something that Coach Gard is going to go to his bench to.
Transition for Savannah State. You know it's coming. 60 points in this first half for Wisconsin. That is a lot of points in a regular game in the Big Ten Conference for Wisconsin. He's still got a couple of minutes left in this first half. Is Happ going to drive with the right hand?
2 nights ago, Savannah State against South Dakota State gave up 90 in 1 half. So, I mean, this is something that they've seen before, and it's so interesting. I've never seen anything like this. But, you know, it gives an opportunity to let guys play.
4-on-1. Ty Strickland feeds Happ, and it was ripped away by Jaquan Dodson. He had no help, but Dodson got in there and committed the foul. At least didn't give up the highlight dunk.
Yeah, Badgers so far 8 for 8 from the line. Ethan Happ going to the line 3 for 3 today after they were 10 for 21. So just seeing what is Ethan? Is he going to bank this one? Is it going to go swoosh? It's kind of a mystery, but as long as it goes in, I don't think anybody cares.
Missed that one. It looked good, though. Happ's got a good stroke. That's the thing. It looks good. It just sometimes doesn't go in.
It's changed so much since he first got there. He works hard at it. He's going to be here, you know, first thing, you know, on the floor at practice, whether it's shoot around. He works consistently on it because this is why he came back to Wisconsin 4 or 5, 80%. To work on these things to the next level wherever he ends up. It's something that's not a crutch.
There's a very quick 3. Don't forget State Farm halftime report. Dave Revson, Stephen Bartle break down the first half. And look ahead to a full weekend of Big Ten basketball action. It's all coming up on the State Farm halftime report. Just over 2 minutes of game time here in Madison. 12 points for Ethan Happ. A little bit of history again. Surprise, surprise for Ethan Happ as he drives to the hoop and with his left hand couldn't get it. Thomas, nice putback. And some more history as well for Wisconsin. This is their highest scoring first half in school history.
Traditionally a second half too.
Charlie Thomas went down hard.
See, this is interesting. Freshman going 1-on-4. Getting bailed out with a foul, but that's something where, again, you got to learn in these situations. You'd rather learn now versus that might be a turnover for someone who's not going to foul you later on in the season.
Strickland's going to go to the line. Strickland already with 11 points. Hasn't missed a shot. He's banked in a couple of threes. As mentioned, highest scoring first half in school history. The previous was 63 against SMU back in 1967. And they are going to go way past that.
Yeah, this is going to fly by. 139 South Dakota State had 2 nights ago. They're giving up right on par. It's hard to get at 100 on the dot, but that's Savannah State. 100 points opponents are giving up. 80 points for them.
Strickland strips it away. Strickland nearly lost it. Trying to find Charlie Thomas, and his pocket was picked. 3-on-3 going fast, and the layup is good by Jaquan Dodson.
I can't keep talking about it enough. You see Demetric Trice checking back in. You better believe that's going to be for Ty Strickland. And this isn't a bad thing. It's not, you know, it's not a bad thing that he's coming out of the game. It's a good learning opportunity. I talked about it when he got fouled, that it wasn't a good opportunity for them. A straight line pass with 4 guys around. You either got to throw that one above or use the bounce pass or set it up.
9 to shoot. Strickland. They're still working it. Happ, there's the double. Pritzel, shot clock winding down. Pritzel short. Moving fast, surprise, surprise. There's a charge. It wasn't Brad Davison either. It was Ethan Happ that drew it.
Tried earlier, and you know, going back to the last offensive possession, Brett, we'll see if he gets it in the chest. I do like to see if he gets it in the chest. I don't love that call, but you know, you gotta got to give the big guy props for putting his body out there. This is an All-American that just took a charge in a game that he's up 34 points. So I guess I'll give a couple claps for the effort there.
A little bit out of control that time by Hansen. An opportunity with another bucket to tie the best half ever in school history, which was 67. That was against Iowa in 1988. Came in the second half, but 67 points in any half is very impressive. Again, State Farm halftime report is coming up in a matter of moments. Wisconsin in control of this one. Davison from 3. Got another one. Brad Davison with 19 in this first half.
Not exactly the best possession. They didn't touch the middle. They didn't do things. But, again, when you get confidence with guys, that's what happens.
69 points in 20 minutes of action for the Wisconsin Badgers against Savannah State, the most in any half in school history.
It's incredible. 69 points. There's many games that I've seen Wisconsin play when I was around before then, where they didn't even reach 40 points in a game. So confidence builder for this team. Many guys get involved, and the freshman Ty Strickland is going to be needed as Trevor Anderson goes out, and different guys, another freshman Kobe King, gain confidence now for later on in the year.
69-32 State Farm halftime report coming up right now. Typo, folks. That is the score. 69-32 for the 16th ranked Wisconsin Badgers on their home floor against Savannah State. Remember the last time these two teams met? Yeah, 2011. Final score was 66-33. Ben Brust, you played in that ball game. Little different story here today. 69 first half points, most ever in any half for Wisconsin.
This is what we call a little bit of a stat rising game. Guys, Ethan Happ is keeping his field goal percentage up. Demetric Trice again, just making everything. And I think Wisconsin's doing a good job of being patient. 18 assists, only 3 turnovers, controlling that pace. So it's going to be hard because there's going to be so many opportunities to make plays, and you just got to stay within what you do best, and that's work it around, to be patient. And I guess these guys want to get paid because Ethan Happ, who's been struggling at the free throw line, he found a way to get it down. A little bit of adrenaline from Ty Strickland, I bet, off the bench as a freshman. And maybe he's just trying to do it. His second one using the glass in, just about all of the rim right there, too. So we'll see what this second half has in store. Maybe a little bit more of history.
Can't get paid unless you go to the bank. Used it plenty in that first half, as you mentioned. Demetric Trice unloads, and his first shot is off the mark. Ben, by the way, the last time these two teams played, you played in that ball game. 66-33 game, right?
I don't think I did a good job of stat rising. I believe I was 2 for 6. That's no bueno. That is no bueno.
4 points for Ben Brust in that game. Look it up, folks. If it would have been this style of play in your area, you might have had more than 4.
I'd like to think that I would have been able to, but I'm old now and I've given up on the dream.
Brad Davison step back, and his hot streak continues. He has 21.
Brad right there going to his left. It's something he wasn't able to do last year with the shoulder, with the step back, and there's a look in his eye. There's a confidence there. If he can continue, again, Wisconsin needs a third scorer. 2 bench points against Xavier, 3 against Oklahoma back then. And Brad Davison took 3 shots. Khalil Iverson took 0 shots. Different guys need to help this Wisconsin team find buckets besides number 0 and number 22.
Davison with a season high 21. He had 19 against Xavier earlier this year. Kobe King, they're swinging it around. Double inside to Happ. And Happ with the left hand. Happ, who with his 12th point, that's his 13th to 14th points. With his 12th, he went into 5th all-time in school history in scoring.
A little bit of a stroll in the park right now for Ethan. He's just gathering himself, takes his time, and flips it up with the left hand. And it's so fun to watch the ease that he plays with, even in a game like this. Marquette is a different story. A career high against a Big East opponent, and be able to do it here. It's just so amazing. He's so different than any other player you're going to see, and I think that's why he does have a chance to catch eyeballs, at the next level, at wherever place it is, because you just don't find a player like him. Happ
had a rebound opportunity, a couple of trips ago for Savannah State. Passed it up. That would have been another double-double for him. He's had a double-double in every game but one. Game against Iowa in the conference opener. And there's going to be a foul on Ethan Happ. That'll be his first. Just the fourth team foul. We mentioned Ethan Happ moving up the ladder. He's just about 100 points short of Danny Jones. He just passed Claude Gregory.
It'll be interesting to see if he can somehow find a way to Orlando Tucker, who's back in Madison doing great things for the community. Those are some great names, and with him coming back, he just passed Claude Gregory in the all-time leading rebounders, and now he's setting his sights on some big names who've really, made a mark on the history of Wisconsin. Ethan had a chance to have contributed to that 2015 national championship run team, but him, redshirting and learning and coming back when he had a chance to go last year, it's more records are going to be broken. This isn't just the last time we're going to see it.
I don't think it's a coincidence that you're here for it too. Kobe King with a layup, I should say. Ben, I mean, we're just breaking all kinds of records when we work together.
Ethan, rebounding record, the first half scoring record. I believe 120 is the team record in points scored. So pacing a little bit slower than the first half, but that could change as we saw in the first half, because this is a long possession for Savannah State. Reached 10 seconds. Very rare here.
They very rarely bleed that clock under 10 as Tyrell Harper misses his three-point attempt.
And believe it or not, on a possession like that where they get a stop on a three-pointer, there are teaching moments that Coach Gard is looking for, because you don't just want to go through a game without, those moments where you teach something, do something wrong, but they get away with it. Got to keep those good habits really built into the program.
Aleem Ford called the timeout. Wisconsin up large at home. Ethan Happ etching his name into the Wisconsin record books, to say the absolute least, Ben.
Triple-double in his first game of the season. Might be on pace to do so today, and you don't do that unless you're consistently doing that. And he's done that over the course of his career. 6 assists, 0 turnovers a day, 9 rebounds. So 4 assists and 1 rebound away from his second career triple-double, which would be setting him alone as the most in Wisconsin school history.
Ethan Happ, just as good as it gets, going to get a little extended break here with the media timeout coming up under the 16-minute mark, so he is on the bench for the time being. Charlie Thomas with good minutes in that first half, and Thomas couldn't hit the shot. Aleem Ford, right place, right time, and Brevin Pritzel comes away with a loose ball.
That's the second time this game where, although Kobe King didn't get that offensive rebound, just his presence crashing the glass kept that ball alive, and then Aleem Ford was able to get to that right spot.
Second time Ford has kept a possession alive for Wisconsin, and consecutive possessions as well. Pritzel looking around at the shot clock. We've got 9 to go. Demetric Trice, everything but the bottom. Charlie Thomas with an offensive rebound, ripped away. It stays with the Badgers.
The guy who had the ball 10 seconds left, Brevin Pritzel, I keep bringing him up because he has so much ability. 0 for 2 from 3 right now. See if he finds confidence or finds an open shot coming up.
In the community.
And then pivot back. Don't travel. There you go. Good.
We really want to try to do some things that make sense, that's impactful, and really can affect the lives of young people, to let them know that there are alternatives to picking up a gun and going the violent route.
That's right. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. All right. All right. There you go. Make sure you never stop just because you make a mistake.
You'll get an opportunity to see the full production of that feature on Howard Moore and the Moore Foundation on the big show after our game here tonight. And I know for you, Ben, had an opportunity to be with Coach Moore your last year here at Wisconsin. I got to know him as the head coach at UIC. First year I started doing games on TV, but could not have a better man and a better foundation to work with.
Despite the fact that Coach Moore was moving on to UIC, when I did commit to Wisconsin, there was a level of trust that I had built up with him. He's from the Chicago area, and just the amount of impact that he has had on the community there, and how he wants to keep making that impact, it just speaks to his character. And the morefoundation.net is where you can go just to check out Moore, check out how he's trying to help the community for things that are unnecessary in everything that we want to help fix. And you can have a piece in it as he, even though he's in Madison, Wisconsin, is still thinking of those people, and especially a family member that was affected of gun violence.
For Howard Moore, he was working at BTN at the time in which Bo Ryan stepped down and Greg Gard took over. He was on the air that day, and then Greg Gard made one phone call, said, hey, Howard, come join my staff, and it was pretty quick as Kobe King couldn't get the roll on that particular three.
And that's something that he didn't have to do, but that's the type of guy that he is. You know, a coach that he was with for a long period of time asked him for a favor, that he needed help in a circumstance that he didn't expect to be in at that certain moment. And his impact is being served in the community of Chicago, but as well as here at Wisconsin today, leaving an imprint with this program. And as someone who was a Badger as well, and you see Howard Griffith here, and a lot of the Badger community they all know and love Coach Howard Moore. They call him Duck. He's a great guy to be around, and someone who I'm appreciative of as part of the reason why I'm sitting in this chair today would be him.
Howard Moore even dunked during a...
I don't believe that.
He did. I watched it.
I didn't see it, though. I didn't see that.
I will vouch for it. He dunked at the end of shoot-around before the Iowa game. Demetric Trice drills a three. Trice with 11.
It looks like for Demetric Trice, the max he can miss is 2 in a row in this game so far. And another teaching moment as you see Kobe King slow on the closeout, and a freshman coming off the bench probably to get him.
Ty Strickland and Brad Davison going to check in at the next whistle. Still the good pressure from Savannah State. Wisconsin yet to eclipse the 100-point mark. It's been a few years since they've done it. But they are well on their way, especially the way that they have been able to shoot the basketball today and what Savannah State has allowed them to do. There's Trice again. Demetric too strong. Bevan Pritzel tried to keep it alive, knocked it away into the hands of Ford.
I believe it was 2013 against North Dakota. Frank Kaminsky set the all-time school record in points scored at 43. So it's been a while. Too long, maybe.
Full-on line change for Wisconsin. Happ, Reavers, Strickland, and Davison all check in. There is Frank Kaminsky. His dad is in the house tonight.
Papa Foops is in the house. Proud father. Frank, up and down season so far, but he's had opportunities recently, and I think everyone's kind of watching and hoping for the best, because what he was able to do for this program, there's a reason why he's up there with Ab Nicholas, because changed this program forever.
It's a really cool day last year when Kaminsky had his number retired. Just the jacket that he was wearing with the jersey that was lettered on the inside, that was phenomenal.
And going back to the NBA draft, he had the tank inside his jersey, so one who likes to be seen maybe as well with this newfound fame of his.
Ethan Happ finishing. Ethan Happ now with 16 points. Good assist by Reavers. 4 double figures for Wisconsin for their 80 points. Led by Davison. Strickland ends up on the floor in a fast break for Wisconsin. Happ running the floor, and Ethan Happ, the big man.
And Savannah State, they didn't even go and attempt to, sometimes in these games it can get a little bit crazy, and they let him go, which was interesting to see. Quite the finish there, too.
Come right on back, and a nice finish.
I'm sorry.
He got about 5 seconds down. And that shot clock. Strickland with a hustle, turned into the dunk. Now Davison short on his 3. Tapped out to Romani Hansen. Letting 10 seconds elapse on the shot clock, and Horace Brodnack says, pull it back. I think that's the first time he's ever done that.
Well, I mean, as a head coach for this team, but Horace Brodnack was part of a Georgetown team that didn't give up more than 50 points in a game except one time at Georgetown in the championship game against Houston, which had Hakeem Olajuwon, which was a pretty good player. So I can't imagine defense being in your DNA and flipping the switch, but it does teach guys how to play. It teaches guys, and that's a nice made 3 from
chance for a
Jaquan Dotson
play
there.
From Dotson. Nice play, but the hustle from Strickland and the finish by Happ.
It's a 40-point game right here. Guys are getting on the floor. If you want to earn minutes, it's not going to be scoring points. It's going to be diving on the floor, creating opportunities for your teammates.
For the Badgers at the Kohl Center. Time now for our State Farm assist of the game. Brad Davison doing a little bit of everything tonight, Ben.
24 assists on the game, but that one was very interesting because there was 5 guys on Savannah State that Brad could see in the picture. Kobe King spaced it out. And again, a nice job pump faking going into the body. A lot of guys would fade away. They don't want to get hit. Finish with contact. That will earn you more minutes.
Jaquan Dotson trying to finish off a 4-point play. Wisconsin with 24 assists. And there's your double-double for Ethan Happ. 10 boards to go with 18 points. It's his 9th double-double of the season and the 40th of his career. More history. Go inside to Happ, and it's poked away. 40 double-doubles, the second most in school history.
Behind? It's got to be.
Who do you think?
I was going to say Frank, but I don't think it is. Let's go Claude Gregory just because he broke him in the rebound record.
Joe Franklin. You had the Frank right, which is the last name.
And right now, Savannah State, heading into that, right now it's pretty dead even in the second half in terms of points. So it was basically this type of margin of points at the half. And this is where I said it was going to be tough. It's not going to be easy for this Badger team because they've been here before. They've been in situations like this, Savannah State. They've been on the road.
And right now, just trying to keep the intensity. We've mentioned how good Happ has been. He and Dimitri Trice make up one of the best scoring duos in all of the Big Ten Conference. Go with Carson Edwards and Ryan Klein as well. Just the percentage of points these two guys in this particular duo has for both of their teams.
Ethan Happ, career high against Marquette, loss. Carson Edwards, career high 40 at Texas, loss. They need help. Ryan Klein's really been struggling from 3 of late, and you know what you're getting from Dimitri Trice, but I think you've seen from Wisconsin here who those guys can be. You see flashes from Brad Davison. Nate Reavers has had some big games. Khalil Iverson is someone who's out tonight who can be that guy, but you need consistency. Who's going to be that consistent guy who night in, night out, you don't have to guess who's going to be the third scorer.
Ty Strickland with a turnover, and because of that, Dimitri Trice is going to check in. Strickland with 10 minutes played. Walter McGrory on the floor as well for the first time for Wisconsin. Got a little bit of time last year, but emptying the bench a touch, up almost 40 points.
Only 3 turnovers for the Badgers in the first half, and they now have 3 in the first 10 minutes, so I think that's something Coach Gard might have noticed.
Trice back on the floor. There's McGrory. Ethan Happ. And McGrory from 3. Walter trying to get in the scoring mix. He's the 10th man to hit the floor. 8 have scored for Wisconsin. And Reavers with a rebound.
That was the right play last time down by Ethan Happ. He could have went up and shot it, but got it to an easier jump shot. And I don't know, maybe, just maybe he's thinking about the assist that he has, trying to get to a triple-double.
6 for Ethan Happ. 4 away from that triple-double is Trice. Nothing but twine. He has 14.
Too easy for a guy that has shown he's first in the Big Ten in three-point field goal percentage. If you leave him that open, they just enjoy the sound of that net.
Shot within 5 seconds on the shot clock. Again, a 40-point lead for Wisconsin. Some subs coming in. You look big picture, Wisconsin got out to that great start, 2-0 in that mini conference run at the beginning of December. Road win at Iowa, come from behind win against Rutgers here at home.
They play Minnesota as their first game back from the Big Ten schedule. Minnesota's a team with 5 Power 5 conference wins. The Badgers are first in the nation at 6. So Minnesota's played a lot of teams. Then you go on the road to Penn State, which is a very, very tough place to play. That's a team that upset 15th ranked Virginia Tech. So I could go on and on with the schedule because there are no easy games in the Big Ten.
Dotson again. Dotson now with 16 points. He's had a good second half.
Yeah, and Rutgers came into the Kohl Center and we're up at half, and this is a team that, maybe last year might not have won that game. So you see guys grow, you see guys mature, and you're going to need to as January 3rd starts all over again.
Brad Davison knocks down another 3. He has 24 points. Career high is 30. Potentially could get there tonight. Under 8.5 to play at the Kohl Center.
Just another record that might happen with us on board.
That's right. We're the record breakers, Ben. Ben's record-breaking night.
I'm not doing it.
Now a steal by Davison. And a steal on the other end. He got caught in no man's land trying to get rid of it.
But a good hustle play nonetheless. Again, you want to see guys, when you're down 40, making those plays that they would make in those tight games. But it does hurt that turnover stat that you're trying to keep down as you're third in the nation at 9.2.
At just 7 on this game. As Ben mentioned just a couple of moments ago, just had 3 in that first half against a defense that likes to force turnovers. There's Davison again. And a rare miss for Brad, just his 3rd miss in the game.
And this is a little bit different than you've seen from the Badgers team because they're normally shooting 51% from the floor in the second half, 41 from 3, and scoring 41 points. And right now just not playing to that level like they did in the first half and like they normally have in the second half of this year.
And fans really appreciating the effort from Davison on that steal. Now on the other end, fast break opportunity. Oh, my. Big flush from Jaquan Dodson.
That's going to go on his Instagram. I can guarantee that. A nice highlight in the game that might be out of hand, but you got to take what you can get. Another turnover. We got hockey subs coming in from Wisconsin. 4 guys ready to come in.
That was an altered shot and a block by Adam Saeed. Don't tell Savannah State they're down almost 40 points. Davison with another steal. Savannah State still has that motor going.
They're taught to this. You don't get the fastest tempo in the country just by playing one half of fast basketball. They are trained to go as fast as possible.
Fastest team in the country last couple of years, Savannah State. But Wisconsin with 90 already. By State Farm, here to help life go right. Talk to a State Farm agent today. Beautiful Capitol building in downtown Madison. And we look at Frost's best. This time, 3-point shooters. Why not for you?
Say that 10 times fast. It'll be a little bit tough.
You try.
Dimitri Trice, 4 for 7 from the floor today. Right on that average. Jordan Poole, a guy who really struggled early on for this Michigan team, but since he's been hitting shots, this team just becomes even better. They're the best team in the Big Ten right now. Josh Langford continues to get better. And Gabe Kalsher, a freshman from Minnesota who the Badgers will see. And Carson Edwards, although he's shooting 39%, a lot of those are good shots because getting a shot from somebody other than named Carson Edwards on that Purdue team isn't really a good one all the time. 7 for 14, though, at Texas.
Game on the line. Who's your guy to take that shot, Ben?
On that list?
Yeah.
I mean, is it a one-hit wonder? Jordan Poole did hit a big one for Michigan.
Yes, he did.
Dimitri Trice is growing into that role. But I'm going to go Carson Edwards. He's a gamer. I mean, I saw last game against Texas. He got the ball in the backcourt, stepped into a 40-footer like it was from 10 feet and just knocked it down. I want a guy who can get it in many different ways, and that's him.
Yeah, he's been there, done that as well. Strickland, by the way, with 14 points off the bench. Quality minutes for Strickland, 11 so far in this game. Career high for Strickland.
Wow.
Launching from 3. Maybe he should have tried to use the window.
That was it's better percentage using glass than not, but
it's his first
I think
miss.
he wants on the list.
It's his first miss of the game for Strickland.
You got to wait your time for their Brust best there.
He got a lot of time, that's for sure. Young man from St. Petersburg, Florida. Wisconsin well on their way to 100 points here tonight. We've seen a lot of good things from the Badgers. Go inside, Kobe King. King didn't get the roll, he'll shoot 2.
Going back to Strickland, I think it's awesome to see someone that young be this aggressive and to get as many points as he has and even just to shoot that many times. It takes some confidence, and that's something that I didn't have as a freshman. A lot of guys don't, and so I'm just giving props right there.
First one good for Kobe King. Folks, on Wednesday, BTN brings you 8 hours of live signing day coverage. Experts talk with coaches about the newest recruits and break down each class. Big Ten football and beyond signing day special presented by ZipRecruiter Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern right here on BTN and the Fox Sports app.
And Badgers just 3 of 12 from 3 in the second half, and I think they did a better job in the first half of touching the inside and working that out.
Thomas corrals another board, getting space. Charlie Thomas asserting his strength. Savannah State, who averages 45 threes a game, they've attempted 34.
Let's get to 40. Why not? Could see it right here.
I think we got a really good shot at it. It's the most ever attempted as Aleem Ford tapped it away, didn't realize it, and then Savannah State got it back. Dotson, acrobatic finish. Dotson now with 20.
And getting back to the second half, UW, I think, is losing the second half to Savannah State right now. They've really been outworked for the most part, going away from touching the post. You saw Charlie Thomas work down low, get more of those buckets to really open up that outside, because that's where the outside shooting came from in the first half.
Aleem Ford, corner three, rimmed in and out. Another offensive board by Charlie Thomas. Loose ball. Pritzel tries to keep it alive, but he's on the sideline and out of bounds. Thomas with 7 rebounds. And even though he's not in the game right now, look at Brad Davison. He's loving it.
He's the emotional leader for this team, and you don't get that sort of MO as that guy if you're not into the game at all times. You know, cheering for those guys that are working really hard in practice on the scout team, giving you the best look. So when you're out there, you can be successful, as we see more opportunities for Grigori, who's coming back in here.
Another 3 launched up and missed. 35th three-point attempt. It's the most ever by a Wisconsin opponent in three-point attempts. Brevin Pritzel passed up a shot. You've been mentioning Brevin Pritzel's name most of the night. This seems like a game that he would be able to thrive in. There's Pritzel. And
he did pass up one early, but he got a better one, and I think that's important to know. I mean, a lot of people do get upset, why didn't you take that one? Because they've been getting better ones all day, working into the post. And 1 for 3 right now, right around where he is. The century mark coming up next, maybe.
Enjoying this one, couple of points away from the century mark, trying to do that for the first time since 2013. And it's been a little bit of everybody, but our Duluth trading hardest working player today has been Brad Davison, and he's earned every bit of it.
You see the statistics that are more on the offensive side. Tried taking a charge early. It had the assist of the game, which was really just a hustle play, and diving on loose ball still in the second half in a 40-point game. Those are the things, as the emotional leader, you see him cheering for his teammates, late in this game, staying engaged, and it's well-deserved for a kid who took 5 charges, and I didn't know you could get 5 charges and catch heat for it, but he was able to accomplish that.
Emptying the bench a bit, Michael Ballard on the floor. He'll get some extended minutes today. Happ more than likely done for the day. Trice, Strickland and the rest of the bench guys. And Strickland having himself a whale of a game too. Trying to keep it in bounds. It goes right to Ballard. Right place, right time. Right on the point of the W. I think a chance to reward these players, some of the walk-ons and guys that run the scout team offense.
And you'll see the bench. They always root for a guy who hasn't scored yet, and you'll get the best reactions out of that. Michael Ballard, I think, is one that they're going to want to see launch one up here.
Bleeding that shot clock a little bit. 5 to shoot. Strickland trying to find somebody open. Brevin Pritzel underneath, out to Ballard. Ooh, almost for Ballard, just a little too strong, but the bench was about ready to go nuts on that drop.
They went nuts just because he got the shot off. And Brevin Pritzel, nice job for a guy who does play a lot more than Ballard. Could have gone up against a smaller guy, passed it out for an open 3.
Walter McGrory on the floor as well. They go inside, almost a turnover. Savannah State launches another 3, and that one goes down. Zach Sellers. That's attempt number 36. I don't think they're going to get to 45.
Be careful. I've seen.
It's just under 2 minutes.
You never know. Like, forced turnovers, they're going to shoot it within 5 seconds. I don't think it will happen.
I'd be amazed. Pritzel now from the corner. Brevin short on his shot. Pritzel just trying to find it here. A little confidence booster late in this ball game. And you look down the line at what Wisconsin has coming up. They have finals next week.
37. They're working on it.
Who's not counting?
If this is bonus, they're going to have another chance.
It's just the 3rd team foul for Savannah State. That's the one thing about this type of style. You're not going to have a ton of fouls.
Not a lot of stoppage in play, because they do want it to stay, open floor in the freedom of movement era.
How about Wisconsin? They've only committed 5 fouls in this game.
It's something that's taught. I mean, you learn how to play defense the right way. The refs are going to recognize that. You show your hands. You don't give them a reason to call a foul. And the ones that stands out are really just them going for loose balls and trying to take charges, which are fouls that you want to have, not cheap ones out 90 feet away from the basket.
Wisconsin still 2 points away from 100. Trying to get there. There's Ballard. Up and over the backboard. So you got 104 to go to get to at least 100.
Oh.
You
Wow.
know they're thinking about it, though.
It's in their head now at this point. Might want to, if they really, really want it, which it really doesn't matter. It's a number. You're here to get a win, but I don't know if the crowd's going to get a free cheeseburger or something, but maybe that's why they want it.
That would be a tough promotion because it would be just the second time ever at the Kohl Center that they'd get to 100. Strickland is fouled. No free throws again, just the 4th team foul. The only other time was that 2013 game that you mentioned earlier, North Dakota, where Frank Kraminski put up 43 points.
Held up the 43 like Wilt's 100. Isn't that crazy? Wilt did it by himself. This
wild.
team can't even do it with 5 guys up there. That's crazy.
Do you remember how you did in that game, Ben, back in 13?
I do not. I need a box score.
2 for 8 with 10.
What's with all the bad stats around here?
Well, I mean, when the lights are the brightest, I mean, you had 10 points, you had 8 boards, you almost had a double-double.
All right, yeah, so doing all those hustle plays.
McGrory,
And
there
it
it is.
goes wild.
101, and it's from McGrory. 41st time ever for Wisconsin past the century mark as Dotson.
That's 39, isn't it?
That's 39.
Oh,
Not going to get to 45.
What mattered here, Jeff.
Big win for Wisconsin as they win by 51 points to improve to 9-2, and they did everything well tonight. So 101 points to get to 9-2 for the Wisconsin Badgers. They had 5 in double figures, led by Brad Davison's 24, who hit a career-high 6 threes in the process as well. Ethan Happ ends up 4 assists shy of another triple-double. He had one in the first game of the season. But Happ finished with 18 points and 11 boards. 9 double-doubles on the season for him now. Dimitri Trice also had 14 in this one. Just an all-around excellent ball game today for the Wisconsin Badgers. They'll have finals. They'll have 9 days off before they take on Grambling State here at the Kohl Center. So some time to think about it. They're back in the win column again after a tough overtime loss against the Marquette Golden Eagles over the weekend. A rivalry game. That man, Khalil Iverson, hopefully back for Grambling State. Kobe King, who had 10 points in his first career start. Again, it was a little bit of everybody contributing to this one for the Wisconsin Badgers. And for Greg Gard, just good to get back on the floor, get a good taste in your mouth, and to get win number 9. And standing by with the head coach of the Badgers is Ben Brust.
Thanks, Jeff. Here with Coach Gard. Coach, 69 points in the first half. What did you guys have working for you?
Well, I thought we shared the ball pretty well. We didn't, sometimes in these games when you run out to a lead, it can get sloppy. And we did a pretty good job of guarding against that and trying to stay true to our identity.
Coach, Kobe King with his first career start, 10 points. Ty Strickland off the bench doing some things. What did you like from those young guys and this opportunity for them?
Well, it was good to be in a game where we could get some extended experience for both of them. And obviously, Ty's, young. He's a freshman. There's freshman mistakes that happen, and he's learning through it and growing through it. And Kobe obviously is still working his way back from missing most of last year. So it's good for those guys to get some experience here in an actual game where they have a lot of learning opportunities that'll show up on tape.
And Brad Davison, we talked pregame, struggled from the three-point line, 6 for 9 tonight. Did you see anything different from him, or is it just a byproduct of seeing the ball go through the hoop?
Ben, as a shooter, you've gone through ups and downs, and you just got to keep shooting, maintain your confidence, and try to do the other things well that are important for the game, and then let the offense fall in your lap. And I thought that he did that tonight.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks, Ben.
Jeff, back to you.
All right, that's going to do it from the Kohl Center. The Wisconsin Badgers defeat Savannah State by a final of 101 to 60. Man, big night tonight for the Wisconsin Badgers. Did a little bit of everything. 56% from the floor overall in this one. And they had a grand total of 28 assists on 37 makes. Coming up next on BTN, it's The Big Show. Dave Revson and Stephen Barter will bring you that. For Ben Brust and our entire crew, I'm Jeff Levering saying good night from Madison.